Dynamic entry. Hello, welcome back to our show. We've been gone. Christian, what have we been on? You said it before we started. We've been on a
SPYatus.
SPYatus, that's right. We've been on a SPYatus for a couple weeks. We missed just the last two episodes, technically, so this is going to be an episode review of episode number 10, and 8 and 9 are going to be kind of like a quick review for you guys. So, yeah, let's get into it. This is our review of SPYxFAMILY episode number 10, and 8 and 9.
Oh, okay, like the parentheses.
Alright, so yes, let's just start with like a recap of 8 and 9. What we missed, main thing, it kind of worked out, I guess, because it was kind of like a two-part episode. It like to be continued and then continued the following week. So main thing mainly is that we just met her brother, Yor's brother, Yuri. Finally. He is a hunk.
He is. Would you say so?
I would say he's a young hunk.
His hair looks funny.
He looks like Sasuke to me.
That's true, alright.
A little bit of Sasuke, yeah. So we met Yuri. He's a 20-year-old member of the Secret Service, basically for for their country that they're in. I guess.
Secret police. No, you just said Sasuke. Now I'm just like, now he just looks like. Now I was like, now Lloyd looks like Naruto. Now I'm just taking Naruto and Sasuke.
Hey, every anime is just Naruto.
It comes back to shonen every time.
Every time. So yeah, we finally got to see what he looks like, what he does, adding another layer to the whole spy family web. We have a Secret Service member, we have an assassin, and we have a spy of the opposing country, and they're all
mixed and matched, and it's not confusing to say the least. But it's just like they're just adding more and more layers to this charade.
Yeah. More of like, oh shit, if he finds out now, then they're in trouble, and then she'll find out, and then he'll find out. It's a whole thing. So yeah, we find out that, Yor does not know who Yuri is. Like, basically, she just knows that I think that he works for, like, the police. But
he works in the same office as she does, but he's like, I think he's just like a couple positions higher than she is. So that's all she knows. They don't work together, but they work in the same building, I think.
Yeah. So that was the whole thing. We got to meet him finally. We got to see what he does, how he handles his job. He does it very strongly. That's apparently how he got his job.
You're like, oh, he seems so nice, and then you
push that dude's head and tell me what the fuck I want to know. The guy's like, I don't know anything.
And you're like, oh, okay, this guy's got some fucking issues.
Yeah, something deep down. Also, he's kind of weirdly in love with his sister.
Weirdly.
Yeah, a lot of it's like...
I was good up until he was like, I'm gonna marry you one day. And I was like, oh, alright, that's weird.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're like a boy, a small boy, telling it to your sister. That's still weird.
Yeah, and then he has like his locker that we saw has like pictures of her like all over. Like, dude, what is going on with this guy? He's
so pissed the whole time.
He's a piece of work. So yeah, the whole thing was that Lloyd is finally gonna meet him. So they plan like a after work dinner type thing. Yuri does his interrogation. It runs a little long. He gets there late. Yada yada. Boom! They finally meet. Right away, Yuri is not a fan of Lloyd.
Not at all.
He starts like, hey, I'm gonna walk in there and I'm gonna just show this man like the most disrespect, and I will not approve of their marriage, no matter how nice of a guy he will be.
I will expose him for the rat that he is.
Yeah, and so they just do a little bit of like mental gymnastics with each other. Lloyd's trying to figure out who he really is. Meanwhile, Yuri's like finding any little thing to complain about Yor too, like, hey, this guy's weird because blah 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 blah. They have a nice dinner. Lloyd cooks. Yuri actually likes it. And he's like, damn, this guy can cook.
He didn't want to try it at first. He was like, I'm being poisoned. And then he was like, oh my god, this is the best food I've ever had.
He was like, just because he can cook well doesn't mean I approve of him. And then he, typical, I guess, Briar fashion, he gets drunk.
Easily.
From the wine that he brings.
The thing about the Briars, they're lightweights.
Yeah.
It does not take much for them.
Yeah, he was wasted after like the first two swigs, and he was
the whole time he's just being a menace.
Yeah, so I think him getting drunk kind of helped Lloyd a little bit figure out more so who he is, because he let his guard down a little bit. Maybe got a little bit sloppy, and Lloyd could see through that and be like, "Oh, you
read him like a book." Yeah, that man.
He's giving me these answers that like I've had shown to me when I know someone's a cop. They give you like this fake story or whatever. So he figures him out right
script away. The fake backstory, like, oh, this is what I do. He's like, that's typical secret police jargon, whatever it's called. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty. Man, it's picking them apart like a fucking, I don't know, like a puzzle.
Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna be that easy. I thought it was gonna be more of like a light versus L type battle where they're like
genius versus genius. Yeah. But no, it's just Lloyd just being like, what is wrong with this guy? And then being right the whole time as always, but not trusting his own gut for some reason. That's just a whole lot of things. It's just like they're all completely right, but none of them are just trusting the gut, and it's right over the head. Like, come on, put it together, people.
And then the climax, Yuri's like, well, if you guys are really married, kiss each other right now then. That's
Kiss him on the mouth right now.
It becomes a weird situation.
Not for Lloyd. The Lloyd was like, yeah, I've done this a million times. He's like, what's up, baby?
But he was kind of like still weirded out by it. He was like, this shouldn't be a big deal. I've done it millions of times.
Like, why do I feel like this?
So again, just like the whole like Japanese culture, like the affection in front of others becomes more like awkward for them for some reason, and they don't like doing it. So it gets amplified times 1,000 when it's your brother asking you, "Hey, do this for me." And so we get to see that reaction from Yor. She gets drunk too, and then she's like, "All right, let's do this."
Cause she's like, "No, I can't do this. Hold on." Throws him back. She's like, "Now I can do this." She's like, "Let's do this, baby."
And she goes for it, and Yuri's like, well, "Okay, stop."
He's like, "No, wait, stop. Okay, I can't. Please. I'm sorry.
You guys are really gonna like do some dirty shit in front of me. You guys really are married.
How dare you?"
Yeah. And so pretty much that's how the night ends. They're both drunk, and Lloyd takes care of it as always. And he's like, "All right, cool." Sends him on his way. And we find out later that Yuri's like, "Yeah, he's a good guy overall." He tells his coworker. He's like,
He's not a bad guy.
Feel kind of weird about him still, but he's a good guy." And that was pretty much like the end of that for now. I'm sure they're gonna get into it later on. Like I said, this adds another web for them to be entangled in.
My goodness.
Excited to see where it goes from there.
Oh, special shout out to Anya, where she's like reading Lloyd's mind because he's like breaking down Yuri. He's like, oh yeah, he's like, he's secret police. He's like, I already know it. He's like, I just have to. He's like, you let me sleep through that?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't wake me up.
Again, she's
my
surprised.
excitement. What's wrong with you?
She's like, spy, assassin, now a secret police.
Now secret
member.
police. She's like, you're ruining my show.
This is the coolest family I've been involved with. So yeah, that was 8 and 9. We got to meet the family, more of the family, got more backstory. And yeah, so episode 10 for this week's episode, probably their biggest action piece, I guess. Not really like their biggest, but like one of the bigger ones in the past couple episodes. It was a dodgeball game. Anytime any episode or any anime does a dodgeball game, it's always exciting, for me at least.
It's like the beach episode
Yeah.
for these animes, because obviously...
Any sports, I
Yeah.
guess, event.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Sports
that.
festival, you have the cultural festival, you have the beach episode, typical anime fashion.
The
type
baseball
stuff.
game from Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, oh, that was the best too.
Yeah, so any sports event in any anime is always exciting. So yeah, we got to see a dodgeball game, which is weird because they play dodgeball kind of weird. Like they don't play like how we play it.
Yeah, it's like everybody all in at once, and I was like, they were catching the ball, but like people weren't getting out. And I was like, this man's catching. I was like, why are you still in, Damien? You're out. That's how dodgeball works. Maybe it's different. I don't know.
Yeah, so they had one ball. They did like a tip off in the beginning.
Yeah, the jump ball in the beginning. I was like, okay, I respect that. Because,
Yeah.
you know, there's some kids who aren't fast than other kids.
And then they just had one ball, and like you said, yeah, they weren't. That's the one thing I noticed right away. Like Damien's ball got caught, and he was still in. I'm like, what are you doing?
I was like, why do you have more? You don't get to go again. Like Hulk over there is caught the ball. You're out.
Yeah.
Speaking of, that was a kindergartner, 6-year-old Bill Bazooka, whatever.
Bazooka Bill.
Bazooka Bill. I don't remember his last name, but that man, that was creepy.
Yeah.
And then he sees his dad, and he's like,
Daddy.
Daddy.
Dad's like, all right, son. Yeah, so that was the whole thing. We gotta introduce more, I guess, of the school. The two classes are pitted against each other in a dodgeball game, and the kids got rumors that if you are the MVP of the game, you get a Stella, which is the whole point of what Anya's mission is. She needs to get Stellas, and obviously all the rest of the kids want Stellas too because they want to be part of the honor society. So that's the whole idea, is that like she finds out, and it puts pressure on the kids. So Anya trains with her mom again,
who uses her powers for good once again. That woman is terrifying.
Yeah, we're getting to see more of how strong Yor really is. But yeah, she trains her again, and for some reason, Anya's like, all right, Mom, let's train again. Last time went so well, so let's do it again.
Yeah.
And
You've seen her strength already.
Yeah, and so that was the whole thing leading up to it, was that, and then we find out that Damien, I guess, also, he feels like his dad doesn't pay attention to him. So
you find out some interesting things, but I thought he was just a stuck little kid. No, he gets no attention from his father.
He has to live up to his brother's image.
He's outshined. Yep, he's outshined and needs to live up to his brother. And I was like, okay, maybe I feel a little bit more for this little bastard.
Depth.
Yeah, little character.
Yeah.
This young man.
But yeah, the dodgeball game though comes, and like I said, it's one class versus the other, and that's when we get introduced to the main candidate for the other squad, which is Bazooka Bill.
Bazooka Bill.
This kid has got to be at least at their age, probably like 5'7".
I think at least, pretty sure.
And they're probably all like 4 flat, 4'5", maybe at the tallest. So this kid is a Hulk amongst men, a Hulk amongst children. And they're like, damn, we gotta take him out. He's gonna be the MVP, obviously.
He's terrifying. This man's got an arsenal of moves. He's got like a shadow ball thing where he like flips the ball in a weird way.
He squeezes
it and throws it out. And it's like, even Damien and his two friends, Emil, and I found out their names are Emil and Ewer.
What?
Ewer. The one with the tall hair.
Oh.
His name is Ewer.
That's weird.
Yeah. He's pretty gross, but yeah, it's Emil and Ewer.
Okay.
They have their team dodgeball attacks that just do nothing against this monster that is Bazooka Bill.
Actually, their team attacks were tight. I think
they're pretty sick
against anybody else, but not against Bazooka Bill.
Not against that man. I think they would have done some work if they didn't focus on the Hulk in front of them.
Yeah, so we found out that kid is a father or a son of one of like the lead generals, I think.
Yeah, for Westalis, for the enemy, I guess, in a way, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, so every kid there is connected. So yeah, he's big. He's trained his whole life. You see training montages of him, and he's like, I'm the best. I'm gonna knock all you kids out, and no one can beat me.
I will earn the Stella.
Yeah, so Damien obviously wants the Stella to get his father's approval. Anya needs the same thing for the same reason.
For the mission.
Approval. And, the mission. And so it's a battle of those three mainly. And yeah, it was just so much comedy in there. Like the kids just getting hit, and like the girl, was it her friend Belle? I think her name was Becky. Becky. She was like, I'll take it easy on you girls. Don't worry. She's like,
that pisses me off too. And she goes to the ball and boop.
She just gets hit. So many like physical things in there that I like, physical comedy that was interesting.
Special shout out to Mr. Elegant, by the way. He was out there. He's working out always that morning routine. Like it was just so like pristine. Like that man, he is elegance in its own.
He's always there.
He's just the best. That guy was awesome.
I feel like he's doing it on purpose, where he's like, well, this teacher's out, so I'm going to be the one doing it.
Every time. I should have figured who's going to be the one to be the coach. But then he shows up in his full coaching uniform, and I was just like, he just has outfit for every occasion, don't you, Mr. Elegant?
He's elegant for a reason. Don't you forget it. Oh, yeah, so there was a lot of cool action pieces here, like the one with Damien, his training arc, where he was going through and like they did like a Dragon Ball Z shout out where he like stops.
Oh yeah, dude, I was wondering too. I was like, is that Namek in the background? Yeah. Dude, that was great. I love that special shout outs to like other shows and stuff like that when it's allowed. I guess I know sometimes people get a little crazy about that stuff.
So weird. I wonder like, can you sue for that? Like you're using like our landscape, but
yeah, because I know a lot of people have used like all of it. Like they've used it before. Obviously, I think that as long as they make little changes to it, they're allowed to use it. And they didn't really like show like the whole plan. It was more focused on Damien.
Yeah,
stopping the ball and the whole thing.
And they were like rock climbing, and then the Emil I think falls off.
Yeah,
He's like, and it just falls like 2 feet. So yeah, it was cool to see them like work together, and then like the sacrifice of.
Oh man, I was like, okay, Damien, you know what? I was like, maybe I don't hate you.
So Bill, I'm talking about the one Bill threw throwing at Damien, and then Emil jumps in front of it.
Oh yeah.
He was like, I'm gonna stop this because you're a good guy. Well, I don't really think of anything.
I can't think of anything good right now. He's like, but you're a good guy, Damien. Don't worry.
And just sacrifice himself.
Take it to the dome.
And then Ewer, I guess.
He's
like, well, no, you're dead.
No, Emil.
And then Block is thrown at both of them.
Yeah, and then Emil gets hit, and then he also goes out. So that's Damien and Anya, and then Bill and his whole class because they haven't thrown the ball at anybody else
besides Bill.
So
yeah, Damien and Anya have the cute little moment together again, and we know they're gonna become friends eventually. But we're getting more of like the interaction between them, which is cool. Damien's like, "Hey, you're here still, cool, good for you." And
pretty much, she's like, "I got this, don't worry about it."
Oh, that's what Bill too. Bill's trying to get Anya out, but Anya kept reading his mind.
Oh
she was like dodging left when he was like, "All right, throw it to her left."
She jumped before he even threw the ball, and he was like, "She jumped before I threw it."
That's my favorite. The one where she's like, "I'm gonna throw a curveball, so that way when she jumps out of the way, she'll run into it."
And then she just doesn't move.
She stays there. The kid behind her gets hit. He's like, "Oh!" It's like, "Oh shit!" So yeah, he couldn't hit her until finally Anya slipped on something. I don't know. Or no, what's her name? So like, "Hey, watch out for the out of bounds line," and she almost fell out of bounds, so she jumped forward and fell. And Bill's like, "All right, this is it.
This is my moment."
Boom!
That sick ass, like just above the floor too. That was a sick throw. He just like kind of hit you with like the side pitch just above the floor. Thing's coming in, screaming.
And Damien's like, "You bastard! You threw that with all your force."
He's like, he's gonna hit her in the dome. He's like, he threw it as hard as he could. He's gonna hurt her.
And Anya's about to die, and all of a sudden, boom! Stops that shit. But he can't catch it, and he drops it, and he's out.
I thought he was about to catch it too. I thought it was about to be a whole turnaround thing. I was ready for it. I was like, Damien saving the day. And no, he drops it.
She was like, "You're a nice guy," and he's like, "Shut up! I just didn't want. I was pissed off at him."
Shut up, your stubby legs ass.
And it just walks out. And so then it's just Anya by herself against Bazooka Bill and the whole squad.
The moment we've all been waiting for. This is her time.
Flashes to her training arc, much as the last time she flashed to her training arc with her mom. Shows like, "All right, this is how you want to throw your full body."
Throws up the leg.
Watch that shit.
Turn the hips. Put your whole body in that thing and just fucking
boom. So then Anya's like, "All right, I got this." Form looks great and everything.
She said she even got a name for it too. It's going through the whole training arc. What was it?
Her mom calls it like a golden arrow or something.
Yeah, I think Anya's was like starlight reach
Star
the
bright, first star I see tonight.
Yeah,
That's
just like
the
that.
one.
Grab the star arrow, something like that.
Yeah,
She's reaching for the star, so it's like reach for the star
that's
arrow.
what it was. Interstellar.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. She fucking
Reels up all her might and bounces that
throws
thing
it
off.
dunk.
Dude, I literally sat there and fucking.
Your eyes.
I was like
yeah,
this.
let's do it.
I was like this, dude. Hands in my face, just like I can't right now. And then she gets bopped.
Yeah.
And they lose.
She holds on to it too long.
Oh my goodness!
It bounces and Bill's like.
I was done.
Again, it just like
all my hype ruined in that one moment. Ruined.
Toss at her head, it bounced off her head, she's out. Which, thinking about it now, maybe she shouldn't have been out because it bounced off her head.
That's what I'm saying. It's like he's hit several people in the face.
Yeah, and he even says he's like anything above the shoulder doesn't
count. He hits fucking Emil in the face with that when Emil goes to block it with his face.
Oh yeah.
That shouldn't have counted. Thank you. That's what I was gonna say. I was like, because that shouldn't have counted too. I was thinking the same fucking thing.
So technically, Bill didn't win that game, but technically he did win the game on paper.
And technically, he didn't win the game too.
Yeah,
because Mr. Elegant ruins all of their dreams.
They're like, yeah, you get the star, Bill, good job, and he's like, star.
Stella. They're like, nobody gets a Stella for this. He does a dodgeball game in one class. He's like, you don't get a Stella for this.
And you should get a nitrous bolt because you said you want someone to die. While you're throwing the ball.
He's like, I think at one point you yelled, die?
At one point you said, let's get it on. Let's talk about the fight. So yeah, find out that there was no star involved, sadly. And I think that's where it ends. Does it show anything after that?
No, it's just right before that. He's like, but you can earn Stella in other ways, like in his head. Because Anya and Damien are like actually being friends, and then Damien says something like, "Your stubby legs," and then Anya calls him a shithead twice.
Oh yeah,
she calls him a shithead.
That's so funny.
She's like, "I don't like you, you shithead." That's what she says at the end. She's like, "You're a shithead. I don't like you," and she walks away.
That's so funny.
You're just like
earlier, he was like thinking to himself, like, "Oh, I still need the star." After his friend sacrificed himself, and he's still thinking about himself. And she's like, "Oh, he really is a shithead, isn't he?"
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, you are a shithead."
So yeah, she don't like it.
And I was like, "Did she just say shithead?"
Yeah. And there was another one, I think. Someone got called a bitch earlier too. I forgot.
I don't know.
Like, yeah, they don't.
I'm like, these are kids.
Yeah.
I was like, a prestigious college, my ass.
You guys are using terrible language.
Terrible for 6-year-old, whatever the hell old you are, kindergartners.
Yeah. So that's episode 10. I think we have about 2 more episodes before this first part of the season ends.
Please continue. Please do not stop until 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Please.
It was kind of nice because we did go on, like I said, SPYxFAMILY, and I didn't watch for like the past 3 weeks, so it was kind of cool to like binge it for the past.
I will say, I think. I don't want to say I would say the Yuri episode and the Dodgeball episode are a little bit more just like filler. Because I'm hoping they kind of continue it because they're not really showing too much. So I'm hoping they do continue it into a second arc, not a second season. We don't have to wait that long.
Oh no, it is going to be a second. It's a second core.
So I thought, okay, so I was like, we are correct then.
It comes in back in the fall. It was announced a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
So I think it's going to end at 12, and then it comes back in October, I believe, and then
get the second couple months. Damn, that's rough.
But hopefully something comes out soon. I'm sure it will. But yeah, so that's SPYxFAMILY episodes 8, 9, and 10 reviewed for you. Sorry for being on spyitis. It happens. We're going to try our best to get back on track. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the show. Let us know down below if you are or not. And as always, subscribe, follow us, all that fun stuff. And we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Spy.